Okay, we're going to start with some 60 grit sandpaper and smooth out the saw cut from the back of the neck. Now once that's nice and smooth, I'm going to redraw the 1st and the 12th fret to make sure I've got those measurements in the right place. Okay, and now remember to check with your profile for the actual measurements, but I'm putting the center line in right at the moment. Depending on the profile that you've chose, you may be drawing a slightly different center line when you make your profile. Just double check those measurements and make sure that you've got them right. And now I'm going to mark the base and treble side of the neck. With the profile I've chosen, each side is different. So I just want to make sure I'm making the right measurements on the right side. Now I'm going to mark the locations of what are called the first cut in the profile. You'll have a line going down the side of the neck. Make sure you extend that up to the nut and even back a little farther with the heel. And then you'll have a corresponding cut on the back for each side. Now this line on the back, it may correspond with the center line if you've chosen that particular profile. The one I'm using is an asymmetric profile, so you'll see that I'm a little off center here. But now this represents, these two lines, the amount of wood that's going to be taken off here. And likewise, we make the same measurements on the other side, and you'll see that that's the same amount of wood that we're going to take off on the other side as well. Now I'm going to start with a pretty coarse rasp or a file, and I'm just going to take off that unwanted material. I'm basically working the material down so that we have a flat plane between those two lines on each side. Now you may note that I'm using a file, what I would call a rasp. Spoke shave is also a very appropriate tool for this if that's available for you. So when you've completed this, you should have two planes at an angle on each side of your neck. And just make sure you stay with the lines. You'll notice at the top of the neck it's a little thinner than it is moving down the neck to the heel. and just sort of end it into the heel. Right now we're leaving this area undone. Okay, and now I'm just going to take some 60 grit sandpaper again and smooth these planes out so they're nice and flat. The second cuts we make will be drawn on these planes as well. I'm just going to re-emphasize where my center line is. Remember, you're looking at an asymmetrical center line. And then you draw in your locations of your second cuts and do the same thing. Repeat that procedure and rasp out that second plane. Take some sandpaper and sand that one as well. So you should have basically four planes creating sort of a curved surface across the back of the neck. Okay, and now you can take your sandpaper and sort of start smoothing out the edges of those planes so that you start to have a continuously curved shape going across the back. And now here you can be a little creative as well. The shape really needs to fit your hand. So just keep working it till it feels comfortable and you've got everything nice and smooth. You've got a good straight line through the center. But the real key is to keep it comfortable and make it fit the way you want it to play. Now we're going to refer to the headstock back detail to put that little arch in the back. The idea here will be to cut a curve that comes, sort of continues the headstock till it meets the back of the neck. I'm going to just cut that out with a coping saw. And now once that's cut out, I'm going to take the coarse file and just start shaping that to the shape that I want it. And it's pretty square now. I'm just going to try and round that out and make a nice arch with it. And now I'm just kind of moving in with a round file to smooth out that area on the neck a little better. Kind of get into those contours that a flat file couldn't reach. And make sure that you haven't got that spot so low that you can't get your hand up to do those first frets. Then just keep working everything, get it nice and uniform and smooth. This area here where the headstock meets the neck can be a pretty weak area structurally. And this little architectural feature here gives a little more thickness there in the wood makes a nice transition between the neck and the headstock and strengthens that joint. Now I'm kind of doing a little smoother file here and just sort of doing more of some finish work. And make sure you've got a nice uniform curvature there where the neck flares out to form the headstock. And there's our finished piece.